Japan has a bar for people thinking of quitting their jobs and they drink for free. Alabama passes a bill to report parents whose kids smell of marijuana. And a hospital in France was evacuated after an 8-inch World War II artillery shell was discovered inside a patient's butt. These are the weird stories on Weird AF News, your only source for daily weird news, podcast content. You're welcome. Japan has a new bar for people thinking of quitting their jobs, and they can drink for free at this bar. That's right, this is a new concept, a bar in Japan where the guests can discuss their careers, whether they're displeased of them or happy about their careers. They can also ask for advice, and apparently they can drink for free. I want to go to this bar. I don't even have a career. I could pretend I have a career. What do I got to do, huh? I will play a role for free alcohol. I'm not above it. I got some acting chops. I'll go in one week and I'll pretend I'm a contractor, and I'll just be very vague. Then the next week, producer. And then, I don't know, maybe I'll be an underground gun runner. That'd be kind of fun. Now, this article here says it's hard to imagine Japan without all the interesting bars that you can visit. There have been plenty of cool concepts and some wild ideas. I'm going to interject here and suggest that if any of you happen to be in Tokyo at any point in your life and you are a drinker, you want to go to this neighborhood called Golden Guy. Just look it up. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, so last month, a new concept called Tenshoko Sudan Bar opened, adding something entirely different to this list of unique bar concepts. Also known as the job-changing consultation bar, this isn't just a usual bar where you can order a drink to unwind after your grueling day of work. Rather, it offers free consultations and drinks for employees that are seeking career advice. All right, what's the catch? I'm already looking for what is the scam here? It's got to be you. I mean, how does this bar make any money if you're just giving out free drinks? The article goes on to say many full-time employees end up in a situation where they have worries about their career but don't have anybody to talk to about it. It can also be challenging to find the right advice from your friends and your family, and that's where this bar comes into play. In Tenshoku Sodan Bar, it's all about offering an alternative without pressure, letting guests discuss their careers in a conversational way. Who are they discussing their work problems with is what I want to know. Other drinkers at the bar, or are there recruiters there just looking to poach them? That's what I think is going on. Let's keep reading. It says the conversations take place in private rooms where the guests can talk openly to the bartender while having a drink. According to the official website, the bartenders aren't just regular staff. They're actually industry professionals with real experience. Experience at what? This article is being very coy. They're not telling me exactly what is going on here. So I went to the website, and it's clearly a consultation firm. What do they call them? Recruiting firms. So they make their money when they relocate you in another job position, but they're wrapping it up in this whole, would you like to talk honestly about your career over alcohol with us? Yeah, which I'm not sure this is the right way to approach career change or to tinker with your career. If you get wasted at a bar and then, wake up, find out that you joined the Navy and you don't remember it. And what if you just wander into this bar to have some cocktails and you're not even sure what they do there? All of a sudden you're like, wow, this bartender really gives a damn about my life and my career. I mean, how is this even ethical when you break it down? They get you drunk and make you an offer, and is that, I don't know, but Japan is very strange with their drinking culture. They're also pretty weird with their career over there and career decisions. So maybe this bar is going to work. Because it's kind of like indirect, they just can't, they have a hard time being direct and having confrontation over there in Japan, I've noticed. Some people in Japan can't even face their boss to quit their job, so they hire a firm to do it. There's all these, we'll quit your job for you firms. I covered the story on this podcast before. Fascinating. But it all seems to fall under this theme of, oh, no, I can't really do this myself, You do it for me, and so this particular bar seems to fall under that umbrella as well. Now, in case you're wondering, the consultation and the drinks are all free at the bar, but if you want to visit, you do need to make a reservation through Line. initially. So anybody over there want to check this out? Maybe just take advantage of the free cocktails after your long day of work. That might be a thing to do. Just, try and keep it under control. You don't want to find yourself making a career change because you were wasted. Hey, Lenny, how did you get the job at the zoo? Don't even bring it up. I don't want to talk about it. Now, something I'm wondering, and this article doesn't address it. I don't see a photo of the bar, but I assume there's no windows to this place. You really need this to be underground, because what you don't want to be doing is having a couple beers at this bar, and then your boss walks by and looks in and sees you there. And then you're in some trouble, and now you got to talk to your boss about it. But you don't want to talk to your boss about it, so then you got to hire somebody to talk to your boss about it for you, So it just creates a whole chain of events that are probably pretty distasteful. Alabama has passed a bill to report parents whose kids smell like marijuana. We got a House Bill number 72 that's been sponsored. It would make smoking or vaping marijuana in a vehicle with children inside illegal. It would also require mandatory reporting of parents whose kids smell of marijuana. Oh, yeah, you can't have the kids smelling of marijuana in Alabama. It's Alabama. They're only allowed to smell like moonshine and incest. That was so wrong, right? So wrong, but so good, we can admit, right? We got a quote here from an Alabama representative who gives a damn about the children. The children. They care about the children. It says, don't smoke marijuana around your children. Don't have your children around anyone smoking marijuana. Secondhand marijuana smoke is very harmful. Yeah, so is cigarette smoke, but you got a bill for that? The kids coming in smelling like cigarette smoke? That's not good. I'd imagine a lot of them do, because it's Alabama. They're not very educated. And what about the kids that, smell like elephant urine? That's not okay, all right? Those poor kids getting whizzed on by a giant elephant. Shouldn't they be reported as well so that some intervention can happen? Make sure they're not whizzed on by an elephant anymore? Hey, Alabama, how about you get some dentistry for these kids? What about that? I'm just trying to make the world better, guys. This is Alabama, is my point, and they rank last in everything. So, is this how the lawmakers are spending their time? I'm not saying, don't look out for the kids that are around marijuana smoke. But this is Alabama. There's worse things that are around than marijuana smoke. Have you tested the tap water? Have you seen what the school lunches serve them? It's just a pile of potato dust. What are we voting for here? This representational government. Is it working out? It's a freaking circus. It says this bill would ban anybody, regardless of age, from smoking or vaping marijuana in a vehicle when a child, or as the bill defines it, anyone under 19 years old, is in the vehicle. It's funny how they define a child as anyone under 19 in this bill, but in Alabama, I think you can marry at 16. That's not a child, 16 when it comes to marriage. Wow, this state is so ass backwards, it's ridiculous. According to the bill, if you violate this rule, it'll be considered a Class A misdemeanor, possible 1 year behind bars, and you're going to have to attend an education course from the Alabama Department of Public Health. Can you imagine going to an education course at the Alabama Department of Public Health? Yeah, let me guess, you're going to walk out of there thinking that Pop-Tarts with butter are a very healthy breakfast. Where'd you learn that? Oh, Alabama. We got a representative here, a Democrat, who's against this bill, who, I can't pronounce this person's name, but they say the laws that are on the books, we think that they are very strong right now. I'm not sure why this sponsor carried the bill to this extent. It's very superfluous. Oh, so there's already other laws out there of smoking weed around the kids? Sounds like this particular bill just added the car and the smell component. And by the way, who's going to sniff the kids? Have they figured that out yet? Who's going to be the kid sniffer? Is it going to be an individual person or a dog? I'd imagine in Alabama you'll have no problem getting applicants for the position of child sniffer. This is scary, really. Now, the bill requires mandatory reporters, which include teachers, to report parents to the Department of Human Resources when their child smells like marijuana. Oh, boy. Poor teachers, as if they don't have enough on their plate. Now they're going to have to make phone calls and wait on hold at the Alabama government. Hi, I would like to report a child in my class who smells very strongly of the stickiest of icky. I got a kid who smells mad dank, sir. I would like to report a child smelling strongly of skunk and singing No Woman, No Cry at recess This is clearly a heavy-smoking household. The article ends by saying this bill now moves on to the Senate for consideration, and if it passes, we'll get Governor Kay Ivey's signature. Alabama has a lady governor? Wow, I'm so surprised. Considering they just let them out of the kitchen like 10 years ago. All right, well, looks like there's going to be some quality sniffing and snitching in the state of Alabama going forward. I'm sure that'll hold up in court, too. It sounds pretty foolproof. Question, presidents that smell as though they pooped their own pants. Is there a way to report them as well? I got one in mind.
Welcome back.
A French hospital had to be evacuated after a patient turned up with a World War I artillery shell lodged in his rectum. Wow, talk about an explosive bowel movement. The article says, this incident sounds plucked from an implausible war zone anecdote rather than an actual southern French emergency room situation. Rangule Hospital in Toulouse was evacuated after a 24-year-old man arrived at the emergency department with a 20-centimeter World War I artillery shell lodged inside his rectum. So in case you guys have ever wondered why women outlive men in general, I give you Exhibit A. Another individual out there shoving World War memorabilia up his rectum. I covered a story similar to this like 3 years ago, wasn't it? Oh yeah, I checked. It's back in 2021. There was an individual in England who shoved a World War II artillery shell up his rectum. So we got this guy with the World War I shell, the other guy with a World War II shell up his butt. I guess we're going to have to wait a few more years for the first person to shove a World War III artillery shell up their butt. I mean, hopefully I won't be doing this podcast by then. But if I am, I'll reference this story and the previous story, because I got you guys covered in the Department of grown men shoving strange antiques up their ass. Do you remember the story I covered? Oh, it just hit me. There was a guy who wore a kilt into an antique store and walked around the store and shoved stuff up his butt in the store. I mean, it's just unbelievable. If men had vaginas, can you imagine? The ERs would just be completely inundated every day with men shoving stuff up there that doesn't belong. And zucchinis would be like $50 a pound. All right, back to the article with the play-by-play. It says, this extraordinary case unfolded Saturday evening when the young man presented with severe pain, telling the medical staff only that he had, quote, inserted an object into himself that he could not remove at the time. Initial examinations offered no hint of what doctors would soon discover. They operated. During an operation to remove this foreign body, surgeons were stunned to find what appeared to be a World War I artillery projectile, a German-made shell believed to date back to 1918. It was, according to the doctors, lodged inside the patient's rectum. Rectum? It damn near killed him. Now, given the device's intact appearance and historical origins, safety protocols quickly escalated. Authorities were notified, and a bomb disposal unit, along with firefighters and police, were dispatched to the hospital immediately. Staff and patients were evacuated from portions of the facility while explosives experts established a security perimeter and worked to neutralize the risk. All right, I want a perimeter around this guy's butt. All right, and send the robot in, get it right up his rectum, and pull that thing out. Now, thankfully, according to officials, the shell was safe, no explosive threat, once the projectile had been assessed and rendered secure. The patient, whose identity has not been released, yeah, oh boy, you don't want that. The patient remained under medical care following the extraction. French authorities said the man told doctors he had inserted the shell himself. No kidding. I thought he would have hired somebody from TaskRabbit to come over his house and shove it inside him. Says the details about how he acquired the nearly century-old munition have not been disclosed. I think the bigger mystery is how did he get it inside him, not where he got the damn thing. This is Europe. They're all over the place. Go start digging in somebody's random backyard. Eventually you'll hit like some sort of World War memento. How did he get the shell? How did he get it inside his trunk? That's the question. Why aren't you investigating that? No, I mean, I know that anything can be a butt toy if you're brave enough, but there's physics involved here. And even if you manage to sit on it and get it up there, how do you walk to the hospital? Now, the article says that this case is not without precedent. French media noted a similar incident in 2022 when an 88-year-old man arrived at a hospital in Toulon with another World War I ordnance lodged internally, prompting evacuations and bomb squad involvement before being removed. So this is another case. So I had the guy in England in 2021, another Frenchman in 2022, and another Frenchman in 2026. So, I mean, what are we learning, guys? We're learning that there's the gays, and then there's the French gays who, prefer to go out with a bang. Hola, mi amigos. This is your buddy Jonesy, host of the Weird AF News podcast, and you've spent a little time with me in my little show that I record in a podcast. So I just in a closet. I record in a closet. I just want to thank you for spending time. I know there's a gazillion podcasts out there, so I appreciate that you gave me your attention. I'll keep this brief, under 20 minutes, hopefully. Give a shout out right now to someone who bought me coffee off my website, weirdafnews.com, and it's Corinne, and she wrote, Jonesy, your favorite potato treat, pierogies, earned you a coffee high five or a potato vodka shot, your choice. I'm a second-generation American from a Polish family. Pierogies are definitely right at the top of my list, too, right next to mashed potato pancakes. Oh, I love mashed potato pancakes. And then she goes on to give me instructions on how to make, not pierogies, but mashed potato pancakes. No, I'm serious. She wrote out all the steps on the coffee website thing when you buy me a coffee. No one's ever written me an entire recipe on there or instructions for anything. This is fabulous, unbelievable. I don't know you could write this much. Let's hope the people that can't stand my podcast don't figure this out. At the end, she writes, love the show. Keep up the good work. Good luck with your life, man. Good luck with your life, Corinne. Thank you so much. Corinne's bought me coffees before. She's a big supporter and fan of the show, and I appreciate it. Corinne is there every day, so we appreciate her. I want to give her some love. And now, also, I got an email from Charlie in West Palm Beach, Florida. So we got a Florida man. He says, hello, Jonesy. I listen to your podcast every Monday through Friday on my drive to work. You make the start to each of my work days a joy. Thank you so much, Jonesy. And then he gave me a link to the World War I artillery rectum bomb. So many of you sent that to me, by the way. Thank you. That was amazing. And shout out Charlie, as we say in Boston. Also, we got an email from Karen, who wrote, hey, Jonesy, I found your station a few months ago. It brings me such delight, joy, and laughter. I am blind, so I can no longer look for the weird news stories myself. So keep doing what you do, man. Wow, thank you so much, Karen. I will keep providing weird news for you in the audio format so that you can continue to enjoy something that you can't literally look for. So shout out to Karen. I have a bunch of blind listeners and fans of the podcast, and they're some of my best listeners and fans. They write me all the time, so shout out to all of them. You know, like Michael from Iowa City and Kirsty from the UK. There's a few more. My girl Hannah in Chicago, and now we got Karen. Shout out to Karen. If you guys ever want to email me, by the way, it's funnyjones@gmail.com. And I'm on Instagram at funnyjones. If you want to check that out, you can find where I'm performing stand-up comedy there. Tomorrow's Tuesday. I'll be in Hollywood. And let me see. Thursday, I'm going to be in Long Beach, California. And Saturday, I'll be in a place called Poway, Poway, California, which is sort of right outside of San Diego. So going to deep SoCal on that one. If anybody's around, just look at my Instagram. It has all the info on that. If you would love to support the podcast because you just made some money in the stock market, insider trading, good for you. You can go to weirdafnews.com where you can buy me a coffee or join my Patreon. Amazing. Also, if you got a lot of money, just email me directly. I'll give you my PayPal, and you could be like the official sponsor for the rest of the year if you pay me enough. And let me tell you, it's not much. It's not going to take much. But anyways, I appreciate all my listeners and supporters. Keep it going. I will too. And I'll see you tomorrow for some more Weird AF news. Adios.